October 2nd when they rise up to get their offering, and that's what we celebrate.
The Day of the Dead is a day during the year that we set aside to celebrate our passed on relatives, remember them with happiness. It's a Mexican tradition that has been brought over here with our family members, and this is the way we remember them with happiness. Every year we don't consider them totally departed. In a way they are still here with us, and this is the day we choose to acknowledge their presence here with us and provide things for them, such as offerings, our prayers, our remembrances, our memories, and in that way they live on through us. They are still alive for us in effect.
Yeah. It's important that everybody's here celebrating our customs, but since death is global and it happens all the time, we celebrate birthdays, we celebrate the other part of it too. But part of the reason that we come out with skeletons and being all happy is because we try to emulate the dead being happy with coming back to visit for a little while. And not just our loved ones, but I know Ito meant this too, our ancestors. And this celebration is not a Hispanic or a Latino celebration. This is indigenous Mexico.
This tradition of the Day of the Dead goes way back like almost to the Aztecs. I think when you think about the Day of the Dead, they would do a month long. This tradition actually, it's only focused on one or two or 3 days long, but actually the tradition is actually a month long. And it's not in November or October. This tradition actually goes. It's supposed to be the whole month of August. And but when Cortés came and when Cortés conquered that part and assimilated the indigenous people into Catholicism, they moved it to All Souls Days or something like that. It was around this day, which is I think November 1st or 2nd, November 1st, and but that's why it's celebrated during this time. But this tradition was actually supposed to be celebrated in August, and I think for this one, this tradition is really powerful. It's one of the one of the few traditions that has actually lived this long, and it's still continuing. It's still being reproduced through different people. They practice it here in the U.S. as well, so I think it's a tradition that's going to keep on living on. I think it's a way to remember the death, to actually, instead of seeing death as a way to, as a ending, as a final thing, it's more of a, I guess it's more of a, like a cycle. If you think about focusing on the Day of the Dead, what a lot of people do, especially in Mexico and other parts of Central America, and here in the U.S. too, what they do is that they see the Day of the Dead more as a cycle, something that's, with death comes rebirth, and that's what's I think interesting about that day, especially focusing on mostly on the tradition and other stuff that they do. I think it becomes a powerful item where here in the U.S. we focus more on prolonging our life and spending billions of dollars on creams and items that are going to make us look younger, beautiful, whatever we're taught to. Well, what they see with the Day of the Dead, they see it as something as beautiful, something to laugh about, because I think in our society, when we see death more, we see it more as like crying, more focusing on emotions. But when you look at the Day of the Dead, they see it more of like mocking death, laughing at it, because I think it's better to laugh about something than crying. And I think I picked up a little bit about the Day of the Dead history more on my mom and my grandmother. One of the things that they would do for the Day of the Dead is that they would create little altars for my great-grandmother. My great-grandmother, there you go, yeah, my great-grandmother. What they would do is that they would like cook different types of food, especially one of the things that is important was mole. one of the things is like, it's like a tradition for them. But what was interesting about that is that we weren't able to touch the food because that food wasn't for us. They would cook it and place it there, and we weren't allowed to eat it until afterwards. But I'm not really sure it was good or bad to eat afterwards, because it would be probably sitting there for like 2 or 3 days. But other stuff that they would do is they would surround the altar with flowers, candles, and there's like these like sugar skulls that they would decorate and stuff. And I think that tradition and now is like my grandma was the one that started it, and now it's getting passed down to my mom. And I think for now I personally don't celebrate it because I have no one that's passed away. But I think hopefully when the time doesn't come anytime soon, I will continue on with the tradition, so it's going to be passed down again another generation. And that's what I think about the Day of the Dead.
Ese día los recordamos más a ellos y sabemos que tenemos que visitarlos. No sé, en otras partes que les llevan comida, que porque los muertos salen a comer, y otros que les llevan tomada porque les gustaba cuando estaban en vida, y cuando se mueren les llevan.
¿Y qué es lo que hace usted personalmente para celebrar este día?
Pues nomás venir a visitar y traerle flores y rezar. Vengo a misa, hacer mi comunión, ofrecerla para todas las ánimas, las más necesitadas, porque hay muertos que nadie se acuerda de ellos y están en el purgatorio, y con un Padre Nuestro y una María que le rece uno, hasta puede uno salvarlos del purgatorio. Y este día pues es grande para los muertos.